Dean here with PaddleAwaySports. I'm going to go over a few things with you this morning. Application of rail tape, but we'll start with a few products that I recommend. If you bought a new paddleboard, highly recommend all of these products. You're going to make the investment in buying a paddleboard. Absolutely want to have these things. One, a dry bag. I sell these. They're available through me. These are $25 plus shipping through PaddleAwaySports. You can put a lot of different items in here. You can put your wallet, your keys, pretty much anything that you don't want to leave behind and you want to take out with you on the water. Put it in here. It's not going to get wet. It's protected. Second, a nice phone case. You can always put your phone in your dry bag, but then each time and every time you want to take a picture, you've got to open up your dry bag, risk possibly something falling out, getting wet. So what you want is a dry bag or dry phone case. This is a good model right here. This particular model has clear side on the front, clear side on the back, so your phone is operational while it's still in the case. You don't have to take it out. You want to take pictures, you want to do a little video, whatever you want to do, take a phone call. You want this. This will protect your phone, keep it from dropping in the water, getting wet, and you losing your phone. That is the #1 damaged item for me as far as PaddleAwaySports goes on the water phones. So get yourself a dry bag and a phone case. Keep your stuff dry. In addition to the rail tape, this is a new product. This is a nose guard. I just started applying these to all my rental boards. A lot of the damage that occurs to your board when you fall off, if you're near any object, a dock, seawall, rocks, and you fall off, the board shoots forward and jams into any of those objects or any solid object, you're going to suffer damage to the tip of the board. So highly recommend this. Relatively inexpensive. You can pick this up through PaddleAwaySports, 25 bucks. All right. Phone case, you can pick these up, 18 bucks. Highly worth the investment for all three. Now I'm going to go over a few other things. Cover how to apply rail tape. Again, highly recommend applying rail tape. This is a really good brand. I sell this. They normally retail for about 25 bucks online. I sell them for 20. They're a 3M rail tape. You've got a 3.5 inch for a lower profile board. You've got a 4 inch for a little thicker board. This is a little thicker board, so this morning we're going to apply a thicker piece of rail tape to the board. Couple tools you want to have when you're applying this. First, you want to have your tunes jamming, make it enjoyable. So I got my Zach Brown jamming. Want to have your nice cool drink with you. Non-alcoholic for me, but whatever you want to put in there is good. I use Ozark. Yeti sucks. Enough said. Ozark Trail right here. Haven't put ice in it for like 3 months. It's still cold. I'm full of shit too, but they work great. I also use a hard card. I call it a squeegee. You could use a credit card to do this, but I just happen to have this. I apply a lot of rail tape, so we're going to use this. When you're applying this rail tape, the key is no air pockets in your rail tape. If you end up with any little air pockets and water can work its way in, your rail tape's eventually going to peel back and it's going to fall off. It's going to be useless. Okay, so I use this to kind of push the air out. I'll show you how I use that after I start applying the rail tape. I like to apply the rail tape about 2 feet back, 18 inches, 2 feet back from the tip of the board. Most of the objects that you're going to hit that the rail tape will help protect against, you're going to hit them moving forward. So I come up a little short of the end of the board and try to cover a little more of the front of the board. The actual purpose of the rail tape is to protect when you're paddling, so you don't scuff your board with your paddle, but it's also going to protect against miter dings when you hit objects, again, seawalls, docks, rocks. That rail tape's going to protect your rail. It's got multiple purposes. Some people like to go right at the midway line of the board and apply the rail tape above that. Advantages and disadvantages. Advantages is when you apply that, and less of the rail tape is below the water's surface, you have less of a chance of water seeping in. Disadvantage is you're not getting any belly protection. And I like to apply my rail tape. I like to almost split it down the middle and get a couple of inches of the rail tape below on the belly of the board with a couple inches above. You're going to get plenty of rail protection for scuffing, but that's just my preference. You can do it either way. So I'm going to walk you through right now how I apply it. And I'm going to use the 4-inch rail tape as opposed to the 3.5-inch rail tape to cover a little more of the board. And again, this is a little thicker profile board, so we need that extra 1/2 inch. Again, I like to recommend a 3M brand. I've tried several different types of rail tape, and without a doubt, this is the best brand I've found on the market. All right. I like to work back to front, but it's not that important where you start. You're going to simply peel this back about 6 to 8 inches, like so. You're going to come back, pick your spot. I like to use a point of reference. I've got lettering on both sides, so it'll help me kind of even things out. So cosmetically it looks a little nicer. You're going to start in a general area where you think you want to go, and maybe for the first 8 to 12 inches, you're going to press down and get it to stick. And you're carefully going to walk this back. Try not to allow that rail tape to stick onto your board anymore until you got this completely peeled. So I don't know if you can see on the video, but the rail tape has a curve. It kind of conforms to the board. It's important to try to kind of place that with the curve of the board. So I'm going to come in here again. I'm splitting the middle of the board, kind of covering a little below the water surface, a little bit above. You're going to walk it down with your finger right down the middle. Get you about 12 inches sticking. Now I like to come back here, and if I don't like, which I do actually like where I've got it lined up right now, but if you don't like it, if it's a little low or high on the back end and you need to adjust it, you can peel this off because you're only stuck a little 12-inch strip. You don't want to apply this and have to pull it off and apply it and pull it off more than really one time, or you'll start to lose the adhesion. So peel this back just to show you what I would do if I didn't like where it was positioned. And I'm just going to kind of conform to the board. All right. Now, if you like what you see, you got it where you want it to go, which I don't. I want to drop it down a little bit more. And down here, I want to get a little more of my tape on the belly of the board. So I'm going to apply it there. Come back. Do the same thing, because if you notice, there's a little fold right here. When you drop down too high or low from one end to the other, you'll end up getting creases. So I'm going to pull this back and drop this down a little bit. Again, I like it a lot now, and I haven't stuck, so it's not permanently in place, but I'm happy with where it is right now. I'm going to walk my finger down the middle and just kind of make a seal down the center of the rail tape to the board. Just one finger. See, I'm just using one finger. That way, in case I do have to peel that off for any reason, I don't have to peel off the entire piece of rail tape. And now it looks good. I like what I see. So what I'm going to do is try to move my big ass out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to start at the front, and I'm just going to work from middle up, and I'm going to push out all the air. Middle up, push out all the air, all the way down. Again, real important to keep all the air out, no air pockets in there at all if you can. And you're just going to walk it down all the way.
Concrete cars of their own prison bars like this life I'm living in. But the flame brought me farther. I'm surrounded by water and I'm not going back again. I got my toes in the water, ass in the sand.
Just working that air out, upward direction. Back over the second time, pushing that air out. Working all the way down.
Yeah, I'm leaving GA. And if it weren't for tequila and pretty senoritas, I'd have no reason to stay. Adios and via con Dios. Yeah, I'm leaving GA. Gonna lay in the hot sun and roll a big fat one and grab my guitar.
Alright, so basically halfway done tying that rail tape. And to be honest, if you get a good seal on this rail tape, I'm not joking when I tell you it'll last years. If you don't, you end up with any areas that are folded, you've got a crease, you've got a big bubble under the rail tape itself, water gets in there, it's just going to slowly lift that rail tape. Now to apply the bottom half, I'm just going to pick a spot, I'm going to roll my hand, kind of push it down and under. Again, I'm going to work my way all the way down the board, pushing down and out. We'll pick up the squeegee or hard card, work some of these air bubbles out if there are any in there. It's coming on pretty good.
Yes, and all the muchachas, they call me Big Papa. When I throw pesos their way, adios and via con Dios, a long way from GA. Someone do me a favor and pour me some Jaeger, and I'll grab my guitar and play.
Alright, now I'll take my hard card, same thing, just kind of working it out. Like so. So again, I've been doing this quite a while, and even this isn't perfect. I've got a couple little bubbles in here. So when you see that, you just work that bubble out, up, push it out of the side. A couple little bubbles probably aren't going to hurt that much, but I still try to work all the bubbles out. I don't have any big bubbles. There's a couple that I got to go back over, work out a little bit. And also would recommend letting the board really sit overnight when you apply this. Probably not best to throw it on and throw it right in the water, although you could and you can, and I have done that. If you can give it a 24 hours to set up, it's going to adhere to the board a little better. I think you'll have a little better luck. That's about it. I'm going to work on